everyone, and welcome to Greater Bay Area Blockchain Week. I'm Olga Yaroshevsky, Head of Content for Nextchange Group, and your MC today. This panel is quite special for the event agenda as it is aimed at answering a very important blockchain question: how to bridge the permissioned and permissionless worlds. And to address this, we have an amazing set of experts sitting on this panel today. Let me do a quick round of introductions. Yifan He, CEO of Diginode Technology, one of the 4 founding members of the blockchain-based service network, BSN. Hi, Yifan. Thank you for being here.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Alexander Filatov, CEO and founder of Tone Labs. Hi, Alexander.
Hi, great to be here.
Thanks for being here. Dr. Wai-shun Lo, chairman at Diginode Initiative. Hi, Dr. Lo. Good to see you.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. And Hanfeng Zhang, senior engineer at Bityuan blockchain. It's one of the networks which have recently joined the BSN. Hi, Hanfeng.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much again for coming together for this panel. Well, I would like to start with you, Yifan. Since we've had a very interesting talk at Hong Kong Blockchain Week in November 2020, a lot has happened for BSN, and I have to say it is rapidly turning into a major infrastructure that is actually used by projects and developers worldwide. And I know that to ensure that and to comply with the Chinese regulation, the BSN is actually split into 2, which is the Chinese domestic version that supports permissioned or enterprise blockchains, and the international network, right, which includes public blockchains also. So can you please tell us what is happening with BSN now? And what are you doing to drive blockchain adoption in China and worldwide?
Okay. That's a very good question, but let me clarify a little bit. It's BSN still one BSN network. We just split the governance of BSN into 2 parts. BSN China, which means the governor, everything happens on BSN inside China, and the BSN International governs the anything related to BSN outside China. It's just like internet, right? In China, there's a central government agency to govern internet, but in the US, it's another agency, in the US government. So, but it's still one internet, so one BSN. So yeah, but the reason for that split up because the regulations in China, it doesn't support public chain and it doesn't support cryptocurrency. So, but outside we need, because BSN integrates all kind of blockchain technology. So outside China, we can integrate public chains. So and support the public chains. So that's why we split governance split into 2. So and since November, we already we integrate more technology. We integrate the 3 more public chains. But most importantly, it's in China, we launched we call that open permission chain project. We call that OPB. What OPB is basically because in China, it's not really legal to basically run the public chain nodes. Okay. And also, which means for Chinese developers, it's actually very troublesome for them to connect to a public chain, and they cannot buy cryptocurrency, so they actually cannot pay for the gas on the public chain. But because China is really push for the blockchain technology, and it's really move fast. In order for all the developer also can get familiar with this kind of public chain environment. Development environment, public chain. So we launched the open permission blockchain project, which is we bring the public chain inside China, but convert that into a permission version, and take out the cryptocurrency, and so Chinese developer and the Chinese business, they can use this permission version of a public chain environment and to develop their own applications similar to the public chain. And because there's no cryptocurrency, so they pay the gas with fiat money. So we need to build the gateways, payment gateways, everything, integrate the traditional payment system with blockchain framework. So I think because Freetown is the newest member of the OPB project, I think Alex can talk about that more next. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. This is very interesting. I have a quick follow-up question. So how does BSN evaluate projects to onboard them, and what's the main criteria for that?
The first one is diversify, which means we don't want just use one technology. Even with our interchange services, we use two, and we are adding third one, the fourth one. So the first one is diversify, and the next one is it's really good for developer to develop applications. Okay, that's a very main criteria, because there's some chains just for example, Bitcoin. You cannot deploy smart contract on Bitcoin. It cannot be used to develop applications. Then you say we don't integrate Bitcoin, that chain. So that's the second one. It's really and also it's the maturity of the chain. Because we really need not only you have chain, you have the all kind of development tools, you have SDKs, you have everything's ready for developers, easier to use your chain to develop applications. So and for public chain, we integrate outside China. We actually looking for basically the most popular ones, the most people use that. So that's usually we integrate first. Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you. I would like to stay in the Greater Bay Area of China, since it's the topic of our conference, and let's now put a spotlight on this region. And here's to you, Dr. Lo. And can you please tell us more about the Diginode Initiative? And I know that it is a region-specific initiative, right?
Well, yes and no, because this is a company based in Hong Kong, and we have exclusive license with BSN to be the portals for Hong Kong and Macau. And obviously that will be putting ourselves into the center of the Greater Bay Area, right? So, but in theory, we are open for business. We want to help BSN to expand internationally and bridge the gap between China and the rest of the world, and particularly the One Belt, One Road economy. So we are supposed to able to serve everyone in the world. So it's not only limited to the Greater Bay Area, but we internally have our interest focus, which is definitely the Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and the nearby region. And we also want to focus on fintech industry.
Yeah, sorry, let me jump in a little bit. Let me explain a little bit what's a BSN portal. Okay, so the way we build BSN is the infrastructure. So BSN doesn't serve end user and the developer directly. So you have to go through a portal. So this portal is like a front end of the BSN. So but each company can build a portal any way they want, because they design and build the front end, everything, the process, the interface, the payment system, the user management system, you can build any way you want. We BSN provide APIs to the portal. So the portal through the API to communicate with BSN to deploy a project, to deploy, to create chains, to generate certificates, to access public chains through all the APIs. So all the user information stay in the portal. On BSN, we don't have any personal information from any portal. So there's no API to collect personal information. So all the users belong to the portal. That's portal's business. What BSN do is support the portal. So the portal operator are our customer, not end developers. So.
Thanks for the explanation. Really, it's a very complex infrastructure, and it's really important to learn and to know how it works. Dr. Lo, do you have anything to add? I was wondering if other Greater Bay Area parts will be joining the network too, other than Hong Kong and Macau.
As far as I know, there are several other portals in the rest of the world, and BSN will be growing the presence in all different parts of the world. Of course, we want to, because of the importance of Hong Kong in bridging the China and the rest of the world. So this particular region is very important, and we are part of China. Hong Kong is part of China, yet Hong Kong is a very international city and a lot of foreigners with a lot of connection to different countries. So I think we are in a very good position to provide a portal service, and we are trying hard to make it easy to use. And for people to, we are organizing and promoting a community. So we are focusing, helping developer to build something on top of BSN.
All right, it's interesting, thank you. Well, Alexander, now to you. Well, first of all, thanks so much for being here. It's great to have you. And can you update us on what's been happening since Freeton got abandoned by Telegram? Can you tell us more about the situation in the developers community?
Sure. Well, the Freeton was launched in May last year as a decentralized community-driven network. And it evolved since then. We have more than 400 validators, and we enjoy, relatively large community and very quickly growing. We see about 3,000 developers in our ecosystem, and we love integration with BSN because I'm a big believer that permissionless and permissioned, technologies should coexist. Permissionless is more open; it's more like a revolution, and permissioned is more like an evolution. And typically governments and enterprises don't like revolutions. They prefer, logical, technological evolutions. So I think once you bridge the two, you get beauties of the two worlds. You allow governments, to get comfortable with the technology and control what they would like to control. And then you allow developers in China, outside of China, access to a technology which is very scalable. We can talk about that if it's of any interest. And to get access to the developer tools that simplify development, yet be fully compliant with local regulations. So we love this project.
This is interesting, because usually permissioned and permissionless speakers, don't really support a friendship narrative. It's usually
I can elaborate. Let me just stay on my philosophy for a second.
Sure.
First of all, of course, permissionless is the future because it's more open, it engages, more people, it's easier, people love freedom, that there is nobody to control. However, again, governments and enterprises, don't typically like that stuff. And what I also like about BSN project is that typically in the blockchain space, people focus on the first use case, which is, cryptocurrency transfers, P2P transfers. Because cryptocurrencies are not allowed in China, it means that the developers will focus on more like, let's call it enterprise applications and use cases that don't necessarily engage cryptocurrency, but leverage the power of the smart contract technology, whereas execute some business logic, transparency and whatever. So I think what China is going to bring to the global blockchain table is a lot of non-crypto projects, more like in the business logic and enterprise. And I think that's great because typically people tend to focus, on the most obvious ones around cryptocurrencies, wallets, exchanges, DEXs, etc., etc. So I think we're just going to see, very unique innovation coming out of China, and that's why we love that they would have access to our technology as well.
In addition to that, Chinese government recently increased investment into digital innovative projects, and that includes blockchain too. Okay. Well, I would love to hear from Hanfeng. Can you please tell us more? What is Bityuan Technology? And I know that Bityuan and BSN collaboration happened in November, right? And what this partnership is mainly aimed at? And what are the results so far? Are you in mute, Hanfeng?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Let me just give a briefly introduce about the Bityuan Chain. We established the project at 2014, and we launched the first Bityuan Chain at 2018. Right now, we have more than 15 decentralized applications running on our Bityuan main chain, and our clients from different level, from startup company to large scale company, and also do some project servers, our local government. So the Bityuan chain is a very high performance, low cost, and public chain. And we give a very smoothly developer experience to all the developer. It just like few minutes with the two-way offer, you can build your own blockchain. And we don't actually, we now only focus on the public chain. So, but we get a lot of inspired by Mr. He, the BSN. What you said about the connect between the promised and the permitted blockchain project is very inspiring. And I think we were our nation about that. So the portal you mentioned, I think it's a very good solution. If we have that tools, we may try to like build some connector to other blockchain project, as long as the data transition is safe and it's sync. So right now, the Bityuan chain, we have a very good speed. The TPS is around 300, and we offer Ether virtual machine, and we offer Java virtual machine, and also Golang. And we're working on embrace more popular language into our system, like JavaScript or all the things. And we have a system that is self-developed. It's called a multi-chain. It's same concept from the Polka's parachain, but we achieve it different way, and we achieve it actually earlier than Polka. So I think that is a brief introduction. If you have any question, you can ask me.
Anyone wants to follow up on the Yifan? You want to follow up on this collaboration with the public blockchain?
Yeah. So outside China, on BSN International, we integrate public chains. So the purpose is for developers on BSN, one gateway can access dozens chains. So it's cheaper, easier, and you know, it's just convenient for developers. If you want to build a small exchange, small wallet, you know, just one gateway, you got everything. So Bityuan is one of the chain we integrate. They are from China, and also they actually I think they have the permission version. He just doesn't want to disclose that, so he has one, and so it's and the company actually is a very well known startup. Okay, blockchain startup in China, and they have like the world's 6 most patents regarding blockchain in the world, probably just behind the Ali group. So it's a very famous company in China.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, congratulations on a great collaboration. Speaking from the developer side, and I love that you mentioned actually the cost of developing public chain applications. Sometimes it's not affordable for developers, and what can be done to reduce this cost? And I would like to first address that question with Alexander. What's been happening in the developers community? Sure. Is this a problem?
Sure. Well, what we build at Freeton, by way I mean like broad developer community, not just on Labs, which is a core developer, is we build a whole what we call operating system, which is essentially a bridge between the blockchain protocol itself, which is more of like a decentralized microprocessor, speaking, computer science language, and then whatever sits on top and bridges to developers. And and final users, we typically call it operating system. So we call it ToneOS. And it includes a whole bunch of tools for developers. You know, we have a very comprehensive software development kit. We have 2 compilers, one for Solidity, which is obviously the most popular language so far being used in Ethereum. We have one LLVM compiler, which is C and C++ compatible. SDK, by the way, supports 20 computer languages. And we have a whole bunch of bindings, you know, with GraphQL, with databases, which simplify development. And the idea is to, you know, create the Firebase-like experience. Remember, in mobile applications, until Firebase came along, it was very expensive and difficult to build mobile applications. And then Firebase basically removed the need for the whole backend. So you would just, you know, focus on the front end and user experience. So that's what our ToneOS brings to the plate as well. I can give you one example. We released last week a technology called dbots, which is like a smart contract that bridges, basically bridges the front end with the back end, trying to simplify my language. And we announced like an official contest for the first dbot. And the winner came in 25 minutes. I mean, 25 minutes from technology released to the first dbot. So we think it's going to be very powerful and unleash a lot of innovation in the space, and also bring developers from the non-blockchain space, which I think is very much needed if we want blockchain, that great technology, to take off.
A growing audience, amazing. Yifan, what do you have to say about this? You're on mute.
Sorry. In order for developer can develop applications cheaply, one solution is to take out the cryptocurrency. Okay, just think about the public chain as a decentralized, specialized cron services. So you can deploy your application. You just pay the fair money for the resources. I mean, just remember, public chain is not all about the cryptocurrency. It's a decentralized infrastructure people can build the application on and communicate easily, transfer data easily and securely. So if because the public chain has cryptocurrency, so you can see almost 99% of the application is built around cryptocurrency. That means how can public chain be used to solve traditional IT problems? So and because we talk with all the large corporations, banks, the problem with deploy traditional IT application on public chain is the money they make for traditional IT system is fair money. But if they deploy the application on public chain, they pay cryptocurrency, fair money, cryptocurrency, they cannot control the cost. So one solution is take out cryptocurrency and use fair money. So for traditional IT system, they make money in fair money and pay the cost in fair money, then balanced. Okay, so that's actually, we talked with Alex, that's actually, we are testing this concept with open permissionless, because in China, we take out the cryptocurrency, right? And then you pay the fair money for the gas and deploy your traditional application to solve traditional problems without cryptocurrency. So that's actually one concept I really need, everybody needed to explore, which means in the future, there will be public chains just supporting CBDCs and fair money. But of course, I think most public chain, probably including the Freetown, if you ask, a public chain without cryptocurrency, sometimes it's no longer public chain because a lack of the best things of the public chain. So, but there's needs for the simple cloud services, decentralized cloud services. So I think there will be a niche market there. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that. Myself is a believer of Bitcoin and Ether, and I got my first Bitcoin at 2012. After that, Ether come out with the capability to carry data. That's for a developer, I think it's cutting edge. After Ether, there are a lot of new projects, new tech released on blockchain community. It's very exciting. But the problem is that most of the new tech, there's a star project. They are way too expensive for individual developer or small company. Like for Polka, the parachain, how much you gonna pay for the only the deposit? I heard it's around $100,000. Yeah, and for Ether version 2, how much you gonna deposit? It's big amount of Ether. That stopped people to even try to build something on this public chain. That's why we build the Bityuan chain. That's its one purpose. We build the Bityuan chain. We offer same servers, but with much lower cost. How much is gonna cost you on Bityuan chain? If you wanna build some decentralized application on Bityuan chain, literally cost nothing right now. You only have to pay your servers. You always need to pay your servers fee. And after that, the only thing you need to pay is the transaction fee. The transaction fee, the Bityuan chain is a multi-chain architecture, which means all the transaction that's happen on your parent chain, it's not gonna cost you anything. The transition phase only happen when you sync your data from your parent chain to the main chain. And we have a promotion for all the small team and developers that use Bityuan chain as base to build a decentralized application. We will offer more than 10,000 Bityuan as a startup foundation that will cover all the transition fees for a very long time. So basically, right now you use Bityuan chain is totally free. We have tools help you build your own chain, and you can release your application on that chain. And about today's topic, the permission and the permissionless, Bityuan is only focused on the public chain right now, but the architecture of a Bityuan chain is a multi-chain, is parachain architecture, which means we can easily connect to other blockchain if it's necessary. Actually, we have an upgrade in the middle of this year. After the upgrade, the Bityuan's developer can easily do the cross-chain transition to other public chain like Bitcoin, Ether. We will cover more in the future. And yeah, Bityuan will be very glad to be the bridge to communicate two words, the permission word and the permissionless word.
Interesting. Dr. Lo, what about this hybrid model adoption in Hong Kong? Since it's an international hub, yeah.
Yes, I agree with Mr. He about this point. Take, for example, Algorand, which is one of the promising permissionless chain invented by the famous MIT professor, Turing Award winner, and they go into China and they go as a OPB, right? Open Permission Blockchain, and the lack of the algo within China, forcing them to focus or experiment with maybe in the future with the DCEP from China to substitute that and make it into a very stable value when you don't have to worry about the fluctuation in the exchange market about the value, right? And that I think is open for a lot of niche application for the future for people to explore that. And if that will further accelerate the development of DCEP, because the DCEP is not only used in regular retail payment and all this usage, but also in a lot of new interesting blockchain applications. I think that is actually very good. So I really agree with that point of view. Now, on the other side, I also think it's interesting to look at, this is Algorand going from outside into China, but the opposite direction, I think, is also becoming the future trends. For example, I see some of the very famous permission blockchain like Bcos in China, which is quite widely adopted. Now, because they are not allowed to do permissionless blockchain in China, so they force them to do it outside China if there's a need. If they can use Hong Kong as a place to launch it and use the Hong Kong developers, that's our hope, that we will attract a lot of developers to help to build this application. And this new application in the future could be something interesting to combine some of the permissioned nature in China and the permissionless nature outside China. Now, a lot of new innovation, I think, could happen in the future using that hybrid model. So I'm very optimistic about this kind of trends.
Yeah. And let me jump in a little bit. So, but for BSN, we are integrating all blockchain technology. So we actually is neutral. Okay, we integrate public chain, we integrate permission chain. So we see a lot of use cases. So we see there's a need for open permission in China, and also we see a need for cryptocurrency public chains worldwide. So I really hope some company pay attention to this and develop something. They can come to us. Okay, we can put some money in and develop this public chain without cryptocurrency. So there's a public chain with cryptocurrency. There are public chain without cryptocurrency. There are open permission chain, okay, a permission version of public chain, and there's purely permission chain. All together integrate on BSN, and how you can use those technologies. Go through Professor Lo's portal. Okay, go to the portal, and you can use all those chains together. That's how we link everybody together. Portals, chains, and the developers, and the cloud resources. We also integrate all the cloud resources onto BSN.
Now, speaking of links, so during this event, GBA Blockchain Week, we've been actually talking a lot with speakers about interoperability and the importance of cross-chain features. Are there any services represented for cross-chain needs in BSN? And what is the main challenge here?
Actually, there's two major points why we even do BSN. The first one is reduce the cost. Like everybody, even high school students, they can access to blockchain technology. Okay, it should be very cheap to build a private chain and test, or it should be very cheap to access any public chain and they can test, the technology. So that's the first point. The second one actually is the interoperability, because we consider right now, no matter it's a private chain or public chain, they are like intranets in the early 1990s. Okay, because eventually they should link together. The data flows from one chain to another chain, like in the 1990s, it's from one intranet to another intranet, it becomes internet. Then, we all see how internet changed everything in our life. So I think eventually there will be something to connect all the chains. For example, from a smart contract from one chain to call another smart contract on another chain to transfer assets, to transfer data should be very, very easy. So that's why one major focus of BSN is to build interoperability within BSN. Just remember, within BSN, we have IDs for any chain, we have IDs for any smart contract, we have IDs for all the data centers, so we can easily to find other chains. On the open internet, it's hard to find other chains to connect to, but within BSN environment, it's much easier to do. So we are doing a lot of research and working with, like Polkadot, Cosmos, all those companies try to build some on BSN system level protocol, which means you don't need to change any layer one. You don't even need to deploy a smart contract on your chain and call a local protocol and connect with other chains. It's not there yet. We are still, working in progress.
Well, that's a very important work anyway. Alex, what can you say about interoperability? It's one of the major issues for the developers community as far as I know. Of course,
we were big fans. We already have a bridge we're currently in integration with BSN, as Dr. Yifan mentioned. We have a bridge with Ethereum. We're finalizing, by the way, always been developer community, finalizing the bridge to Polkadot, Tezos, and a few other networks, in certain sequence. And I think, if you want to think about it philosophically, I think blockchain already passed what we call the Netscape moment in IT industry. Netscape moment, if we go back to 1994, is when users discovered that using internet is relatively simple, when Netscape Navigator came out. But I don't think we yet had an iPhone moment. And an iPhone moment in 2007 is when people said, okay, it's so cool that I gotta have it. And I don't think we're there yet because, blockchain is exponential. And I think interoperability is one of the keys to getting to the iPhone moment a little bit faster, maybe in the next couple of years, to be optimistic.
So that everyone wants to have their own blockchain.
Not the blockchain, but that people wouldn't, because obviously blockchain brings benefits, that we all know, like transparency, immutability, the trust, if it's permissionless as well. And but it had downsides. Technologies couldn't deliver scalability that is required, and also the level of adoption and user experience. But now it's there. The tools are there. UI UX is there. Performance is there. For example, in our chain, the blocks are formed in 0.2 seconds because of the dynamic sharding or multi-threading, to be more precise. And that's very fast. That's good for fintech. That's good for any gaming application. So it's getting there, and I think it will start biting market share away from centralized IT. I mean decentralized software. And what BSN is doing in China is actually one of the ways to accelerate that, that adoption wherever it makes sense, obviously, from centralized classical IT to more decentralized IT.
So centralized nature and decentralized nature actually can and must coexist, after all. By the way, as you know, it is often said that if you even question yourself, if you need blockchain, then most probably you don't need it in your, in your company, in the innovative program. What can you say about the enterprise adoption? Because enterprise use is very important. How do you assess the speed of this adoption? Is it really easy now to implement blockchain into enterprise or commercial systems in China and outside of China? Or big companies are still very slow to do it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Alex just said, it's very, very early right now. Right now, it's like 1993 of internet. Most people still, at that time you say internet, why we even use internet? What's internet? Then in 1995, people say, what's the internet? It's email. Okay, that simplest application, email, is the internet. So after 30 years, you'll see how the internet changed the whole world, all the business logics, all the business scenarios, all the business process. But remember, in China, until 2005, the big financial institutions and the governments begin to use the internet to serve people, okay? 10 years after 1995. So blockchain technology will be quicker, but it still take a while. Okay, right now people say, what's blockchain technology? Cryptocurrency, because it's the simplest application on based on blockchain technology. But remember, all the companies, all the banks, even right now, many individual developers explore the blockchain technology to try to build, the blockchain technology, the decentralized concept into their commercial IT system. So there will be many use cases, and that will also push to improve the underlying framework. Just like I said, there will be many types, with cryptocurrency without, and the permission chain and the hybrid chain, like half permission and some kind of public kind of governance, some kind of that. So I think there will be many types, but I think it needs 3 years, 3 to 5 years, really to reach a mass, begin the mass adoption. And the CBDCs and the digital currency will help.
Mm. Dr. Lo, do you agree with this evaluation, 3 to 5 years plus a CBDC?
Well, China CBDC will be coming out very soon, will be less than maybe 1 or 2 years, if my information is correct. I think another trend pushing this faster is this early stage of institutional now putting the treasury and buying Bitcoin as a reserve. And that trend is now starting to spread to some other companies, right? And if you think about this, if international company, multinational start to adopt and realize they can buy Bitcoin and hold it and use it for research purpose, the next question they will think about is what other blockchain technology we can use, right? So this, I think, have a very positive effect in the mindset, because previously still a lot of people think, oh, this is not legitimate. This is a Ponzi scheme. This is worth nothing. They will collapse. All this kind of doubt, I think, was influencing a lot of mind share. And with this kind of a new trend, I think we will have a positive effect on the adoption on blockchain in big companies. Now, I also want to echo one thing I mentioned earlier when in a permission world where you want to using CBDC to replace the public chain currency. One very good example is actually that I noticed is actually in Switzerland, that they're building one of the next generation digital security exchange. Now this exchange is built on Corda technology, but they also point out the vision is to use the Switzerland's CBDC to be the vehicle for trading this digital security in the futures. So this is two-step actually, using digital CBDC and buying digital securities, right? And these are both very big impact on our capital market, because right, exchange with all this security being tokenized will be eventually a big thing. So that's the thing that I hope will eventually trigger to happen in China as well, when more use case of the CBDC will be adopted into other financial applications. So that's I'm very optimistic.
Thank you. Yeah, digital securities and tokenization is another very big and very hot topic, and it really varies depending on jurisdiction, as far as we know. Right, Alex? Okay, Alex, unfortunately we are out of time. I urge you to make your last point, and we're going to just quickly wrap it up.
Sure. Well, again, we're very excited about cooperation with BSN. I don't want to repeat what I said at the beginning, but I think China, like kind of to a large extent, China led to this kind of payment revolution in the last 20 years, you know, transcending the whole generation of IT. I think China will play similar role in the blockchain space, driving adoption beyond the cryptocurrencies to the other use cases. And we're very excited to welcome Chinese developers on our platform. We would certainly make them happy with our tools, and they would find that development on the blockchain can be, just a few days. I can give you one example. The NFT subject is very hot. So when we introduced the technology for NFT tokens 3 weeks ago, in Freeton, it took 3 developers and only 2 weeks to come up with the first NFT marketplace on Freeton. 2 weeks, 3 developers. And they sold their first collection and made $30,000 in 1 day. Isn't it amazing? So I think innovation like that will continue to accelerate.
Thank you so much. Well, I think we actually had several building blocks in that bridge between permissioned and permissionless blockchain being put during this panel. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. Unfortunately, our time is up, but I urge you to enjoy the rest of the conference. We have an amazing content coming up. Yifan He of Diginode Technology, Alexander Filatov of Tone Labs, Dr. Law of Diginode, and Hanfeng Zhang of Bityuan. Unfortunately, we lost his video transmission. Thank you so much, everyone. And I really enjoyed talking to you today. And have a good day and stay healthy.
Thank you
very much. It was a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Dr. Law. Bye-bye.